Alright, welcome to part 7 of the video walkthrough for King's Quest VI. I guess I'll start out the video by saying that I changed my microphone settings so there's less boost, and so I think it'll result in less static, but my voice might be quieter, so I don't know if that'll make it more difficult to comprehend things without the static, but with the lower voice quality. Anyway, we'll see how it goes. So right now we're at the Isle of the Sacred Mountain, and we want to ascend these cliffs called the Cliffs of Logic. And since this game was released in 1993, back then they didn't really have any anti-piracy measures to speak of, except for stuff that was bundled with the game. That is, they'd put stuff in the game within, like, the game disk, like the data in the game, that could only really be deciphered with supplemental materials that were included with the game, like a manual or a storybook or what have you. And in this case, the Cliffs of Logic are the anti-piracy tool of choice for King's Quest VI. So in this case, there's like a bunch of ancient alphabet stuff that's covered in the manual for the game, but not really mentioned within the game itself. So I don't actually have the manual for the game. I don't think I ever have, even when I had the disc. So yeah, so I had to scrum it from the internet.
There appears to be something etched into the face of the cliff. Alexander decides to get closer.
So there are 5 trials. Here's the first one. And actually this one you can just figure out by yourself. You're supposed to click these letters, and conveniently you can spell out a relevant
Huge
word.
blocks of stone erupt from the granite cliffs. Alexander stares with wonder. That's quite a way to welcome a guest, if indeed it is a welcome.
Neat. So let's go ahead and ascend these. And you'll want to make sure that the bottom of the feet on the icon intersect with the very top of the brick, because if you're off, you'll end up falling. If you fall only one screen, I don't think anything bad happens. But if you fall more than a screen's length, you'll end up dying, I think. And of course it's 5 screens tall, because there's 5 trials. So here's our first that we took care of. And right here is the second. Alright. So
Alexander examines the strange etchings in the face of the cliff.
Alright, so the clue is a master of language will blank 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 blank. And this is the language of the ancients. It's covered more in the manual. I don't really know what role they actually play. And even if you can figure out the English word, you have to decipher it one-to-one to whatever these symbols are. Or you could know that it's this, let's see, this, and this.
The stone beneath Alexander's feet trembles as more steps emerge from the granite cliffs.
Handy. So let's continue on our way. And I like how they play the little musical notes as you move from step to step, making it all tense and whatnot. Okay, so alright, so here we are at these stones in the wall. This one's a little easy.
Alexander examines the strange etching.
Well, not really. It's based on a clue in the manual. The ordering is 4, 1, want to...
The stone beneath Alexander's feet.
I'll just skip that. I don't think you can skip the rocks showing up on the wall. Alright, and then we just mosey on up. Okay, and alright, here's the fourth challenge.
Alexander examines the strange etchings in the face of the cliff.
Sacred 4. I actually don't know what that's supposed to refer to. I think it might have been some sort of creation myth within the manual, but we'll just click this, and this, and this.
The stone beneath Alexander's...
And then we'll just wait for the bricks to show up. And then we'll just continue our cautious vertical moseying here. Ooh boy. Okay, so this is the last one. So at least there's small favors.
Alexander examined...
Alright, so this is actually very similar to the first one. And instead of doing rise, let's do ascend.
The stone beneath...
Okay, so we finally got to the last set of stones. We don't have to deal with any more of that bullshit. And be well on our way to exploring the rest of this isle. Just so long as we don't make any missteps on these stones. It's more of a keeping you on your toes measure than anything. Okay, there we go. Congratulations, you made it.
Alexander finds himself, finally, at the top of the cliffs. Exhausted, he steps over the lip of the plateau and stands.
Why do you make such an effort to climb the cliffs, young man? The winged ones who live on this island have the power of flight. You could have it too, if you'd only eat a berry from this magical flying nightshade bush. See? The sweet berries will make you float like a petal on the wind. Try some.
Wow, it's magic, so it must be true. But, you know, the drill, it's golden-eyed person, so we'll just sort of look over here and wait for them to go away.
Come, stranger, trust me. Think of what I'm offering you.
Maybe we can look at the spell book while we wait.
Alexander doesn't want to be rude and do that while in the presence of the old matron. Perhaps he should wait until she leaves.
Okay, well, fine. I'll just continue waiting. Here's the gates to the Labyrinth.
Young man, you offend me. I try to help you and you insist on being rude.
Yep, I'm gonna keep insisting though. We won't go into the Labyrinth right now just because it's blocked. We'll get there shortly.
All right then, stay tied to the ground like a load of lead. See if I care. You human.
How odd. The old woman just disappeared in a cloud of smoke. Perhaps those berries are even more powerful than she led Alexander to believe.
Nope. The deadly nightshade. So let's crawl into this hole near the deadly nightshade.
Alexander crawls through the small opening in the rock. Alexander finds himself in a dark cave.
Alright, so what do you do in the dark? Use your tinderbox.
Alexander takes the candle from his tinderbox and uses the flint in the box to light it.
Helpful. We'll just crawl through this hole at the end.
Alexander crawls through the opening in the rock. The lighting in this part of the cave is better. Alexander extinguishes the candle's flame and places it back in his pack.
Alright, and then we want to take a bit off of this plant thing here.
Alexander takes a few leaves from the plant. As he does so, a strong smell of peppermint is released. Ah!
Cool. Let's go back from whence we came.
Alexander crawls back into the first room.
Crawling back in the first room. Yeah,
Alexander.
it's dark, we get it. I already had the tinderbox available.
Alexander.
Tinderbox. And then we'll just crawl back out.
Alexander crawls.
Alright, so now that we got that out of the way, we can get back to the main plot. We just walk this way.
Look, an intruder! Hold! How did you get up here, human?
I climbed the cliffs.
That is not possible. No one has solved the cliffs of logic in several centuries. And if the cliffs were to be solved, it would certainly not be by a human.
I didn't mean to trespass. I only wanted to visit this beautiful island.
No visitors have been welcome on the Isle of the Sacred Mountain in years. Not since the Red and White Queens had spies in the guise of friendly visitors steal our island's sacred golden fleece. But we will not display such foolish trust again. You will have to answer to Lord Azure and Lady Ariel. They will determine what will be done with you. I can assure you, it will not be pleasant.
Alright, so we're gonna visit the alliterative rulers of the islands. And, we'll see their winged glory and all that business. And of course they mentioned another stolen item.
With what trickery did you master the cliffs of logic and reach the city of the Winged Ones?
Only the magic of clear thought, my lord. I meant no harm.
The cliffs of logic. It is the sacred oracle's prophecy, Azure.
Yes, Ariel. It is lucky for you, human, that climbing the cliffs of logic is part of a prophecy that I cannot ignore. We have just been ordered by Wazir Al-Hazred himself to dispose of any strangers that might land on our fair isle. But the prophecy would have a different fate befall you.
The prophecy predicts that whosoever climbs the cliffs of logic will defeat the Minotaur. The Minotaur has violated our sacred catacombs and eats our young in sacrifice. Our own daughter, Lady Celeste, was taken there only this morning as his most recently demanded offering.
A dilemma, then. Whom shall I obey in regards to your fate? The Oracle or the Crown? But since Al-Hazred did not dictate how I was to dispose of intruders, and since you cannot possibly survive the catacombs, your imprisonment there should serve both purposes quite admirably.
I will not resist you in this, my lord. I shall do my best to save your daughter.
First, I must tell you that the catacombs are a labyrinth of rooms, a place of exceeding danger. You will need many tools and clear wits to survive it.
I am ready.
Very well. My guards will take you there now. You seem courageous enough, but the catacombs will determine how brave you really are.
yeah, we're gonna enter the catacombs. The only 4 items you need to use in the catacombs. Well, I'll go over it later, I guess, because we're at a cutscene.
Why did you tell Lord Azure you were ready and willing to face the catacombs? No one is ever ready, and only a fool could be willing.
And you are far wiser, I suppose, to leave a maiden to die? To not fight this plague on your own people?
Bravery and suicide are 2 different things, human. You will have a chance to renounce your choice soon enough, when you lay trembling under the Minotaur's hooves.
We shall see. Thanks for the escort.
We only escort you to your death. May the fates make it quick so that you do not have to scream long.
Okay. Alright, so we made it to the labyrinth.
The catacombs entrance door is locked from the outside by the Winged One's guards. It seems that leaving the catacombs by that door is not
Yep.
an option.
So we'll have to go through this at a later time since we've run out of time. But I'll get a map and lead you through the labyrinth. So I'll see you next time.